You ever learn something the hard way? That was me over and over when I first got into buying businesses. I've made the mistakes, I've lost the money, and I've stressed out my family. And I'm here to help you avoid doing the same. Let's talk about what I wish I would have known before I bought my first business. Rule number one, keep your day job. Unless you want to sleep in your car. When I bought my first business, I kept my day job, and thank goodness I did, because that steady paycheck kept food on the table when the business had slow months. But let me tell you about the first business I started. I quit my job, went all in with no backup, and it didn't go as planned. It took way longer to get the thing going than I thought, and the financial strain on my family, brutal. I'll never forget how many sleepless nights I spent wondering if I'd made the right decision. Lesson learned, keep your salary until your business can replace it. Rule number two, choose your partners like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. My first partnership, disaster. We just weren't a good fit. He didn't put in any money, which meant I was taking on all of the risk. And since we were 50-50 partners, every decision became a power struggle. Eventually, he walked away, leaving me to clean up the mess. These days, I've got rules for partnerships. Number one, no money, no equity. Everyone puts in cash or no one gets equity. Number two, no 50-50 splits. Someone has to be in charge, and preferably the person who's taking on the biggest risks. Number three, write a business prenup. A partnership agreement with clear rules, expectations, and an exit plan. Partnerships can be great, but only if everyone's equally invested. If not, it's a ticking time bomb. Number three, don't fall in love with a deal. Let me paint you a picture. I found this business that looked perfect. The numbers made sense, the opportunity was clear, and I could already see myself running it. I was in love, but here's the problem. Love makes you blind. I ignored the red flags, and I didn't dig deeper and ended up overpaying by a lot. Why? Because I wanted the deal to work. Now I go into every deal with my head, not my heart. No matter how exciting it looks, I remind myself there are always more deals out there. Falling in love with one business is the fastest way to lose money. Trust me on this. Rule number four, buy a business, not a job. Let me share a story. I bought a chili dog restaurant because everything seemed to make sense. Good numbers, steady customers, and I thought, how hard could it be? What I didn't realize at the time is that the key to a successful acquisition is making sure that there is a happy, competent manager who wants to stick around. Luckily for me, this restaurant had one. If it didn't, I'd have been cooking chili dogs 7 days a week, making less money than my day job and probably hating every minute of it. That experience taught me something big. Every business I buy needs to have a system and people in place, so it doesn't rely on me. Otherwise, you're not buying a business, you're buying yourself another job. All right, last one. Rule number five, always have a what if plan. Here's a simple exercise I do before any deal. Ask, what if everything goes wrong? What if you lose your biggest customer? What if half your revenue disappears overnight? Can the business still survive? If not, the deal just isn't safe. That's why I have a simple rule. I walk away from any deal where a single customer makes up more than 30% of the revenue. I've learned that no matter how good a relationship looks on paper, there's no guarantee they'll stick around. I also dig into the top 5 customers. If they account for more than 50% of the revenue, I ask tough questions. Are these customers loyal? Are there contracts in place? Or could they walk away tomorrow? By looking at these details and planning for the worst, you can avoid buying a business that's one bad break away from disaster. All right, let's get real. Buying businesses is one of the best ways to build wealth, but it's also a minefield if you're not careful. Learn from my mistakes. Keep your salary as long as you can. Vet your partners like your life depends on it. Fall in love with the numbers, not the deal. Buy businesses that work without you, and always plan for the worst and hope for the best. If you're thinking about buying your first business, drop your questions into the comments. I've been through the ringer and I want to help you succeed without the bumps and bruises I had to endure. Your first deal doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be smart. Let's make this happen.